screen you're watching me from to even your airways, I would like to officially welcome you all back to the palace. Welcome back to the part 2, I just made this up, pilot episode of Princess Coda the podcast, a place that prides in intimate conversations surely to make you feel like royalty. I am your host, Amaya Kai, and first off, I want to give you all a huge thank you for watching the first episode, which is entitled A Girl Talk, and I am eternally grateful for the love and the unwavering support that y'all have shown already, which is really insane to me. From whatever time I released this, I am so grateful that I'm now in a space to feel liberated, but most importantly, just have fun, because I've been waiting for this time for a minute. And the fact that I'm here is a big blessing. So I just wanted to start off with that. And as we dive into today's topic, I did not realize how heated this will be, but I know I have to start off strong since this is part 2, of course. So I would love to give you all a huge warning. This topic will ruffle a lot of feathers and will shatter a lot of hearts, but I have to realize that it's not about y'all. Well, technically the podcast is for y'all, but it's not about to please the opinions of others. It's just to say what I say and y'all can take it as y'all want. But you guys are very held to your opinion, and that is okay. Which is why I decided to entitle this episode, Caution, That One's Bougie. Now, when it comes to being bougie, we can have so many definitions, but it always revolves around the world of luxury. Now, when we see what luxury looks like, we always see rappers, scammers, even the trappers, always having to do something when it comes to that high-end luxury life that we love to live, or we aspire to live. Sometimes we always see some Versace, Louis Vuitton, Dior, and so many other high-end brands. Yet at the same time, we always ask ourselves, are they trying to put up a show? Or are they really like that in real life? And also, as the apparently appointed princess of the bougie community by the people, which I just got wind of, I had to kind of put my piece out there, because it's always like, I'm going to start off by saying this. I, Amaya Kai Otis, am not bougie. I don't display the acts of being bougie. I don't display my thoughts of being bougie, if that's even a thing. But it's whatever. So the biology major in me decided to do a little study and just see what the people thought. And before we even get into the results of what I got, I decided to go look up what it meant to actually be bougie, because contrary to popular belief, y'all, I don't know what it means. So when I went on Google, I wanted to look up the Merriam-Webster dictionary, because I always use Merriam-Webster, but I didn't like what they was doing. So I just decided to go with just any willy-o-nilly definition. And it definitely says that this is a male or a female who not really parades, but they demonstrate a life of high-end, fancy luxury that entails the not really finer things in life, as we like to call it, but just things that everybody wants to have. And so the big question that I asked myself, which I asked on my Instagram, which was, if you see somebody as bougie from a first glance, like just picture in your head, right? Just imagine you're walking somewhere or you're sitting down and you see this person, right? They have almost anything Gucci on their body. They got them a good little Gucci toe, Louis Vuitton, whatever they got. From head to toe, especially the shoes. Do you think that's their personality? And the results that I got was insane, y'all. Like, when I tell you, I was really shocked, because I was like, nobody gonna answer it. But Apparently, 23 people said yes, 14 people said no, and a whopping 25 said in the middle. And for anybody who is watching the visual version, I have the results on my screen, so y'all can kind of just get a little visual. But for my audio people, you will not be left out. I'm going to just give y'all a little bit of a painted picture. So when I see that we kind of like to see certain things as their personality, I kind of thought about my experiences, because I've always been told from a lot of different people when they first meet me, or if they have a conversation with me, they're like, when I first met you, I thought you was bougie and stuck up. And I'm always shocked, because I'm like, me? Stuck up? Because sometimes, y'all, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not really socially aware to feel like I'm not bougie, because I feel like I'm the black people's princess. I feel like I'm Princess Diana. I feel like I'm the HPIC, head princess in charge. But at the same time, I had to grow up and realize that a lot of people are not going to think about you and how you think about you. And honestly, that's okay. You can prove them wrong all you want. But it just comes with the territory and how you carry yourself. And with that idea, I kind of always wanted to figure out why people thought I was bougie. So, of course, my little feelings was going to get hurt. I wanted to do it anyway. I asked one of my friends. I'm sitting down on a bed. And I was like, do you know why people call me bougie? And to my surprise, it was a lot of different answers. Some people said it was because of the way I walk. Mind you, people tell me I walk like I had a big booty. And I'm like, how does that make me bougie? What? Somebody told me that I walk like a model, which is one of the biggest compliments ever. I feel like I be walking so weird. Now, I always hear that though, but it's between I walk like a model, or most of the time, I just walk with a big booty. I'm just like, all right, that don't make me bougie, but I'll take it. Another thing was my social media presence. Now, to give y'all some context, I got hacked in June. And when I tell you, I was highly upset, because I worked so hard on trying to build my social media presence, because I was already in the media already, trying to build up my clientele as an upcoming content creator. Those days are long behind me now, but it's okay. And I feel like I wasn't trying to portray the bougie persona. I was just trying to persuade people to look at me like, oh, she that girl, but she real sweet. And that's what I feel like I am as a person, but sometimes it can be hard to come off as, because one of my favorite songs is Around the Way Girl by LL Cool J. And I feel like that's my theme song. I'd be like, I need an around the way, around the way. Y'all know the words. But in all honesty, it's just like, I always wanted to embody that type of girl that the younger Amaya never was. This Amaya, she has the confidence. She radiates that cute little smile, cute little walk. She gives you young Naomi Campbell, although I'm not tall. And honestly, I'm going to go get into that, but let me keep painting y'all a picture for y'all. And it's always just like, I wanted to embody a girl who you would look at like as the girl next door. She always has it going on. You look up to her and you're like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. But I also have a really sweet demeanor, so I always wanted to add that in there. And with that, I also actually grew up watching a lot of different 90s shows and actually modeling many different characters and celebrities. Like, of course, Naomi Campbell, Tyra Banks, Whitley Gilbert, Sharpay Evans. She was the one who made me the girly girl. Okay? Also, Dominique Devereaux. Now, y'all might be asking yourself, how she know about that? I watch Dynasty, y'all. I'm not no babe. And just other names to name a few. I just loved watching women that looked like me, talk like me, and sometimes kind of dress like me, although I don't have style for the lick of a sense. I always felt like it's always something that I can do and take from women that always carry themselves in a way that says, I can take care of myself. I don't need you. Like, that's what I wanted to portray. But looks can be deceiving. Okay? And I feel like with that, it's always just when everybody tells me I look, I even heard I sound bougie. I do. But the thing is, it's because I use a lot of big words. Although I don't know what they mean. I just use big words because sometimes, y'all, I be wanting to sound smart. But it does go to show a lot of the things that we have kind of sets the stage for who people think we are. But it's just a case of them having to get to know us in the end. And I always feel like I really wanted to get people to know me from a standpoint where you can look at me and be like, she is not who I thought I was. And after this question, I kind of realized these three things. I can acknowledge the fact that I possess so many things that I grew up with and I was able to take with me as I am a freshman in college. That doesn't necessarily make me who I am because I've always grew up in a Christian household. I grew up with my uncle being a pastor, like I said in my previous episode, who taught me that although you can have all of these earthly possessions, does that make you who you are supposed to be as a person? And it's like my friend Kylia put it. You can have these possessions, but it's just how you carry yourself, how you talk, how you act. It's how you act. It's how you act. Yo, why am I like this? But it's all just to say, you can have all these things, but it's just how you talk to the inner you and be like, all right, girl, we got something to do. Time to put on our bougie cap with the diamonds, Swarovski crystals. I'm a Swarovski girl, y'all. I am. I love looking at Swarovski. I love looking at all things fashion. I love looking at anything that makes me feel like I could walk around with it and just be a princess. Be a little princess. But then, you know what? Enough about my fairy tale. Enough about the fairy tale about Amaya Kai. I could sit here for another time and tell y'all the story, but do I really want to? Because y'all gonna be looking at me crazy if I do. So, as I decided to uncover the truth about being called bougie and how it feels to encounter somebody that you at first glance may think is bougie, it's all in how we kind of see the definition of what is being brought to us and how we expand on it. Because I really see being bougie in another way. Because I feel like it's two reasons to be seen as bougie. Because you could be bougie and you walk around, like I said, with all the finest things in the world. But you can have the most ugliest attitude, like Ursula and Mother Gothel, yet you thinking you the stuff. And that, to me, I can apply this to the people who say yes. Because you can act like you ain't came from nothing. But then once you get all this money, you're not in the right playing field and you think you're otherworldly. Like you want to be with Zeus and Athena and them. But at the same time, you have to be able to be willing to realize that you have to re-humble yourself or God will humble you for you. He will make an example out of you, whether it's good or bad. Because as God will give you these things, He will surely take it away from you. Because I know God be looking down at His people and be like, nah, I know good and well, I blessed you with this, and you treat me like that? Oh, straight. And that's the crazy thing. With a certain lifestyle we kind of come upon, we have to really think, how are we going to handle it? And with that thought, it can be hard to handle it because in a way, we're so caught up with just seeing the big old Mugler, the big Dior bag, big outfits, little cute dresses that we see in the movies. Now, don't get me wrong. Surprisingly, I kind of grew up watching the 50 shows and movies with Marilyn Monroe, I Dream of Jeannie, and so many others. And it's just like, I want to live in that world. But at the same time, how would I even catch up with them? Because I know they had that luxury style in their life. But also, they probably carried that persona to a certain extent because, like, they was actors. And you could really look at it in one way, but then in another way, it's always just hard because you be like, how I'm gonna handle it. But going back to another story of mine, and I promise y'all, I'm done. As I grew up, little Amaya would have always loved a good mansion, good little pony, although I did not live that life. And it's okay. I can admit that. I was blessed to have a lot of different things. And I was blessed to not be in an industry that kind of highlighted riches. That's another story for another time, y'all. I'm going to do another episode on that. Because I feel like that'd be a really good one. But that's neither here nor there. And with those possessions that I grew up having, such as purses, clothes, I was always taught to never make that who you are. Just go out into the world and be yourself. Which was really just a sweet persona with the occasional little temper tantrum. If I get mad at you and I just don't want to talk to you, I start crying. And I feel like that's why a lot of people saw me as stuck up, because I always got upset over certain things. But at the same time, y'all, I'm a human. It's okay, but I never got upset over little stuff. Like, I never got upset if I didn't get a watch or a hoverboard. None like that. I never did, because I understand that I have to be grateful to be in the situation that I am, because I could have been in the street. I could have been in a third world country that has a lot of different wars, and I have nowhere to sleep. That's why I always go in everywhere with the thought in my head, such as that, because it's important to think about others before yourself. And I feel like when it comes to that bougie lifestyle, you start off in an idea, you get these things, you're like, okay, I'm good. But then as time goes on, you start getting into more of those things, and you get invited into those luxury spaces, but then you come out a different person. And that, my friends, is how we realize that a lot of these earthly possessions that we have come with a price. I don't know about y'all, but in the words of Mary, gotta get myself together, cause I got something to do. Y'all know what I'm saying. But we just have to realize that there's a big question on the head. Is this person bougie, or is it how they were raised? We can think of it like that, or we can ask ourselves, did they earn this life in a way that was brought up to them from their original environment, or are there people around them that's giving them these things? Whatever the case may be, you can do your own study on it. It's just for us to realize that with what we have now, and I'm going to ask y'all this question, and I'm going to sit with it, and I want y'all to sit with it too. With the possessions that you cling onto, and you say either God got it for you or you achieved it, do you think with the possessions that you hold on to so quickly, and you parade around it, and you flaunt it, acting like you're a scammer or a rapper, do you think when you die and you go to heaven, how would you react when you don't have it anymore? Because newsflash, when you die, you're not taking that with you. You're not. And you don't hear that often. So I'm going to be the first to tell you. You may think that you can take these things to heaven with you when you die, but you can't. And that is why you have to start thinking and realizing those things, and start transforming the way that you're thinking and how you see these items that are being displayed to you, which is why a lot of the lifestyles that we see in today's world is a facade. I hate to give y'all another bombshell, but it is, because you see these things, yet you don't know the prices or the consequences that come with it. And that, my friends, is how you have to clean yourself up. When it comes to the idea of cleaning yourself up, you got to clean yourself from the former mindset that was instilled in you from what you were taught, because you can unlearn those things. It's just how you apply that information that was taught to you. And we can think of it like that. We can think of many other ways, but you have to start thinking in the mindset of somebody who was created by the Creator himself, to not look at riches and make it as an idol, which is another reason why a lot of people can say that being bougie is a personality, because they make these riches, they make these silver and gold, they make it a priority, yet they're not prioritizing what really matters. And I feel like that's a really big thing that's wrong with the world. I'm not saying you can't enjoy the luxury. I'm not saying you can't enjoy a life that brings you simpleness. I'm not saying you can't enjoy the soft life. I'm just saying start putting yourself in shoes for other people that do not have these things, that have never experienced any high life, high-end things. And that will totally turn a light on in your head. And trust me, you're totally going to be okay. But like I said, what God gives you, He can take away like that. And as I close this podcast episode, I want y'all to take these thoughts and these questions and make it like that. So, thank you guys for listening to Princess Go to the podcast. I hope that you all enjoy this episode. And don't forget to follow all social medias at Princess Cody Podcast, but it'll pop up, y'all. It's a pink little thing. And also, for my visual people, you can go find this video on YouTube. And for the audio version, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Once again, I am Amaya Kai, the host of Princess Go to the Podcast, and I'll be seeing you guys at the Palace again. Bye!